Who's your emergency contact? Who should we notify in the case of death? Welcome to the USP, where I spent the last 2+ decades of my life. Right now we're in bloody Beaumont. And the story I have to share with you today is about homie love. You know, sometimes it's not what you think it is. Now this one's about my buddy, I don't know his real name, but they call him Smooth. He's black and Puerto Rican out of Ogden, Utah. I think he's from a gang called OVG out this way. Me and him got cool because when I first hit the line, you know, everybody knows when you come off the bus, everybody is anybody, especially if they're gang banging, especially if they're active, they want to know who comes off the bus. So word came out that I'm from Utah. There's a Cambodian dude that just came off the bus. He's from Utah. And he had got into it, that me had got into it with somebody, a Guamanian dude over in Victorville. So when I come off the bus, once people found out I was from Utah or I was Asian, Cambodian, they introduced me to the Asians, and they told me, hey, there's a couple of homies over here that's from Utah. So I run into Smooth. He introduced himself, told me who he was and where he was from. You know, he's in there for a bank robbery. You know, back in '96, a lot of the homies from Utah went to the feds for bank robbery. JJ Fanua, Josh Fanua, Paul Tanifa, Ikale Vainuku, Paul Vainuku. We was all in the county back in '96 for bank robbery. Now Smooth, he did his bank robbery later, maybe in the early 2000s. He was already in Florence, USP, with some of the homies that I just mentioned before I ran into him in Beaumont. So we chopped it up. He asked me why I was over there in Beaumont, why I got sent to Beaumont. I explained to him what had happened in Victorville. That dude ran up in my cell and I had to do what I had to do. So where my affection for him was, he don't know me. He don't know me from anybody, but I'm from Utah just like him. And he went and he brought me a knife because he knows that, hey, this is the yard, is active, and plus the guy that I stabbed up, his co-defendant, is over there in Beaumont. So me, I've done most of my time on the West Coast. So having him do that for me, I don't feel, it's not a feeling of obligation, but a feeling of gratitude and appreciation that he's willing to stick his neck out for somebody that he never know that just met that day. Because in a penitentiary, when you cross racial lines and offer assistance, there might be repercussion. But if you're the kind of person that's willing to deal with those repercussions, then it's what it is, you know. So later on, after we've been there a few times, he used to hang out with this dude from Florida, K, this black dude from Florida. They ran a poker table together. Like, you never saw one without the other. I mean, I don't know if guys can have best friends in a penitentiary, but if you look at them, you would think they were best friends. I mean, they were. They did everything together. Like I said, they ran poker tables. When they're hanging out together. When they're drinking, they're drinking together. You never saw one without the other. They didn't live in the same unit. Smooth lived in a CB right above me, and Kay lived in a BB upstairs in the other building to my right if I'm facing the chow hall. So one day, I come out the chow hall, and Smooth and this other native homie, but the native homie is from Utah too. He's from Lalo Crip. So they're over at the walk in front of my unit. And when I walk up, I go shake their hand. I say, "What's up, homie? How you doing?" You know, just the same type of shit that we do every day. He's like, hey man, I'm trying to go see K. You know, he's saying he's trying to go see K. My first impression is, okay, he wants to go visit K. So what the hell you gotta tell me about it for? You know what I mean? That's your buddy. Go visit him, right? So he's like, nah. It's like, I said, what's up? He goes, man, that motherfucker told me he loved me. I'm like, all right. I mean, you know, we say we love each other all the time. When we part, when we meet each other, what's up, homie? Hey, I love you, homie. Stay up. So I didn't think nothing of it. But I see the impression on his face that maybe I'm not understanding. I said, all right, you know, because I don't, you know, I'm clueless to this kind of interaction amongst men. So he says, nah, that motherfucker told me he loved me. And, you know, I'm kind of slow sometimes, you know, so I'm still looking at it and I'm like, okay, nah, that fool says he loves me. So now I'm, you know, starting to get it. I'm like, what do you mean? Like love you? He's like, yeah. I was like, oh, all right. What's up? Because, man, I'm trying to go see him. I said, Dad, that's your, you know, I'm not understanding. He's like, man, you know, the homie, Smooth, felt offended because he was friends with these dudes on a friend tip. And then this guy sitting there that he's hanging out with every day is telling him that he's in love with him. You know, I don't have a lot of experience or interaction with this type of stuff. So I'm just standing there because it's not my issue. It's the homie's issue. So I'm just going to follow the homie's lead. So him and the native dude are getting ready to go up to BB to go holler at K. You know, like I said, K's from Florida, and there's a lot of dudes from Florida over there. So I said, what's up? He goes, man, you trying to come with me? Of course. That's never a question. You know, if I fuck with somebody, whether they wrong or right, if they ask me for assistance, or if I peep the situation, I'm there. And it's nothing out of obligations or anything like that, but it's just, that's what it is, you know? And I know when I met Smooth, he wasn't on a black time, he wasn't on Puerto Rican time, and he was blood, but he wasn't on no blood time either. He was just on Utah time. He said, man, I'm just representing Utah. And, you know, us being in the feds from Utah, there's not a lot of us, especially back then. This is 2006, 2007. So for a guy to be able to just claim the state and rep it wherever he went and didn't join no other group, no other coalition, it says something about that individual. So I had nothing but love and respect for the homie. And because of that, whatever popped off with him, around him, wherever, if he's in it, I'm in it. And for me, you know, we have politics that we can't cross racial lines, that we can't involve ourselves in other cars' issues. Well, I don't cross racial lines. I don't involve myself in other cars' issue. But if you're my friend and I see the odds is against you and I'm there, I'm not walking away. You know, a lot of people will say that all the time. We can make our lips move and make whatever sound comes out of it. But through the course of my time, everybody that you're ever going to meet, anybody that ever been on a yard with me, knows that I don't speak just to hear myself talk. And time again, through different situations, you'll see that if you're my friend and it's time to get it in, I'll be right there with you. regardless of the odds, regardless of the situation. Now, if you're foul and you're fucked up and you did something that's fucked up, then I'm going to evaluate it. Depending on what it is, but most of the time, right or wrong, I'm going to have your back. And once the smoke clear, then me and you will have a conversation. But until then, if you're my friend, I'm just not going to let a bunch of dudes try to butcher you. So I know really Smooth is out there by himself running the Utah car. And you got Florida dudes, there's a lot of them. Texas dude, DC dudes, and everybody has a coalition. It's not just Texas or Florida or DC or Virginia or whatever other state, Midwest. Everybody has a coalition and alliance. So the groups, the numbers, when it comes to shit, it can blow up the whole yard because everybody has alliances. Everybody has friends that's going to function with them. So he said, what's up? You trying to come holler at me? I said, all right, yeah. What you trying to do? You know, he pulls out his knife. He said, man, I'm trying to kill him. You know, for me, I'm not really comprehending or not, I don't know if that's the right word, but I just think that it maybe this was kind of a little extreme because somebody says he loved you and it was your buddy that you hung out with every day. But like I said, I'm just there to aid and assist. So whatever the homie was trying to do, that's what the homie's gonna do. So he got a knife. The homie from Laylo Crip got a knife. This is at lunchtime. I just came out to Chow Hall. I don't have my knife because, you know, everywhere you go, you got to go through the metal detector. And the movie's about to close. So I can't really just hold up, let me run into my unit and grab my knife and then we'll go. I'm just like, fuck it, let's go. So we mob down the walkway, up the stairs in BB. So while we're standing out there, we have to get through the metal detector and the guard to get into the unit. Smooth, his tip of his knife was so sharp that when he went to go grab it, he stabbed himself in the finger, in the hand. So his pant is starting to soak up with blood. And we're waiting, and we're already out of bounds because you're not supposed to be in other people's unit. So somehow we get somebody to distract the CO. We slip into the unit. Me, Smooth, and the native homie from Laylo. So we go in there and we go in the TV room. Smooth and the native dude's in the TV room. I see the Florida dude. The Florida dude comes to the door and asks for me. Comes and holler for me. Say, what's up, homie? What you doing? I said, listen, man. My homie's trying to see your homie, Kay. He goes, yeah, we heard the situation. He goes, but what are you doing here? You know, they're asking me, because I'm Asian, I obviously don't look like Smooth. He's Puerto Rican and black. And we understand the politics. So they're like, what are you doing here? I said, man, that's my homie from Utah. I'm here to make sure he gets a fair one. You know, the Florida dude looks at me for a minute. He's like, yeah, I can respect that. So he's let me go holler at the dude K. So they go back in. We're in the TV room plotting our strategy. We already know it's going to be supposed to be a one-on-one. But at any given time, you never know what the other person is thinking and feeling. You know, maybe once his homie start getting punished, they might want to jump in. And if they jump in, then you know we got to jump. And I'm there butt naked, literally. Everybody, I'm in somebody's unit. So you already know they have all their artillery. But when it comes to situations like this, I'm not really conscious of the consequences or the potential danger. I just know this is my homie. This is what we doing. So whatever. So they go in there and they're talking to their homie in the cell. And me, the native homie and Smooth, we're in the TV room. And so one of the Florida dude comes back in, knocks on the window. He comes out and he tells me, yeah, the homie K said, man, he'll fight him. I said, all right. So I go in the TV room and tell Smooth, I say, hey, man, K said he'll fight you. And Smooth's like, nah, I'm not trying to fight him. If he's going to make me fuck off my time, because Smooth was waiting to go to an FCI. He's already been down 8 years in the USP, and his points finally dropped so he can go to an FCI. So he was like, man, nah, if this motherfucker's getting fucked off my time, then I'm trying to fucking punish him. I said, all right. So I go back out and I relay this message to the Florida dude. I said, man, my homie's not trying to fight. My homie's trying to butcher him. So what's up? Yeah, all right. So they go back in and talk to the dude again, whatever. We're sitting there waiting. You know, I don't know how long we were in the TV room waiting for him to come back. But like I always tell you, in these moments in time, in these situations, time seems to slow down and stop. So finally, a couple Florida dudes come back out the cell, and they came to us. They came and walked into the TV room and hollered at all three of us. That, look, man, K say he's trying to fight you, but he doesn't want to play with the knives. But you're insistent that this is how you want to do it. But he don't want to play with the knife. So I tell you guys what, we're good. You guys can leave and we'll deal with it. So, I mean, hey, I don't know. I wasn't conscious that I was holding my breath. But yeah, when they said that, it was a sigh of relief for me. And the reason it happens that way is because there was respect amongst us. There was respect on our part for them, the Florida dudes, and the Florida dudes had respect for us. And in a situation, when somebody disrespects you, if you don't go and handle your business, I promise you, your homie's gonna handle you every single time. When your number is called and you're sent on a mission and you refuse, don't think because of your relationship with them that you're cool, that you're really good friends, that they're going to let that slide. It's not going to happen. If you don't go on the mission, then you become the mission. If you get in a situation and you tuck your tail, your homie's going to punish you because it's a reflection on them, and nobody in the penitentiary want busters around them. Because if you tuck your tail in this situation, what happens in a big situation? When all your lives is on the line, they already know you're going to run or you're going to tell. And if you're that kind of individual, they're not going to want you around. So after the conversation, me, Smooth, and the native homie, we left the unit. And whatever they did with K, I don't know. He wasn't on the yard anymore after that day. I don't ask questions. We already know that the situation was resolved. So we made it back out. I head over to the Buddhist meeting where we always have every Sunday or Saturday. I know it's on the weekend. You know, and the homie, I was late. So the homies in there was like, hey, man, where was you at? So I explained to him, yeah, my buddy Smooth had a situation. So I went up there to assist him. And one of them, Vietnamese dude, tried to tell me, what are you doing? That's a different race. You can't be doing this. You can't be doing that. And, you know, I've never been somebody to allow anybody to tell me what to do or check me. So I snapped at her. I said, homie, I ain't got no shot callers. Ain't none of you motherfuckers can tell me what the fuck I'm going to do. If I'm your friend, I'm your friend. Period. If you don't like it, holler at me. And of course, nobody hollered at me. But that's the moral of the story, man. If you're friends with somebody, whatever situation you in, you got to be there for them. If you're not, don't be friends. Don't have friends that you're not going to count as family, because anything less than that, then you're just passing time and faking. Welcome to the USP. See you next time.